Let me tell you what happened the night her lies finally exposed themselves.
My wife texted me late one evening saying she'd be home late from a work dinner. I didn't think much of it at first, but something about her tone just felt off. She never used short, clipped messages with me unless she was hiding something. I asked her where the dinner was. She replied that it was at a rooftop restaurant downtown. That's when I decided to check the location she shared with me earlier that afternoon. It showed she was nowhere near downtown. She was in a neighborhood 20 minutes away, on the complete opposite side of the city. I just stared at the screen, caught between wanting the truth and wanting the lie to be real. I asked her if everything was all right. She sent back a laughing emoji and said she'd just lost track of time. My stomach tightened. She never lied that casually before, not like this. I decided to press a little more. I asked who she was with at the dinner. She said it was just coworkers and added that she didn't want to be on her phone right now. Something in my chest twisted because she always made time for me no matter what. I decided to wait and see if her location updated. It didn't. It stayed locked on the same house for almost an hour. I recognized the area because one of her old friends lived there. That friend also happened to be her ex-boyfriend. Suddenly, I felt a kind of cold that has nothing to do with the weather. It was a chill that came from deep inside. I took a deep breath and texted her, asking if she could send a picture from the dinner. She left my message unseen. And in that moment, I knew what the truth probably was. I grabbed my keys, ready to drive over there, but stopped before I even opened the door. I didn't want to confront anyone in anger. I wanted clarity, not chaos. So I texted her again and asked when she would be home. She replied that it might get late and I shouldn't wait up. That's when something inside me went quiet instead of loud. The anger faded into a strange calm. I decided to send her one last message, a test. I wrote, "Tell your ex I said hi." Her reply was instant, and it was pure panic. "What do you mean?" she typed. I told her her location was still on. She went offline for several minutes. Those minutes felt like years. When she finally responded, she said it wasn't what I thought. She claimed she had only stopped by his house to return something. She insisted her coworkers were waiting for her at the restaurant. So I asked her, if that was true, why hadn't her phone moved for an hour? She didn't have an answer for that. She told me she loved me, as if those 3 words could erase everything else. I told her to come home so we could talk. She replied that she needed to clear her head first. That was it. That was the moment I knew for sure. I turned off my phone and just sat there in the silence. About an hour later, I heard her car pull into the driveway. She walked in, trying her best to look calm, but her makeup was smudged and her voice trembled when she spoke. She said she was sorry I misunderstood. I looked at her and said, "I didn't misunderstand anything. I asked her who was at the house with her." She hesitated, then admitted it was just her ex. I asked why she didn't tell me earlier. She said she didn't want to start a fight. I told her that hiding the truth is what creates the fight she was trying to avoid. She covered her face and started crying. She said she had messed up and didn't know how to fix it. I asked her if she still loved him. She whispered that she didn't know what she felt anymore. Those words landed like a blade. I told her that at the very least she owed me honesty. She finally admitted they had been talking for months. It started innocently, she said, but it turned into something complicated. I had to ask the hardest question. I asked if she had crossed the line physically. She didn't answer right away. Her silence was an answer all on its own. I felt something inside me break, but it wasn't loud. It was soft, quiet. She said she didn't want to lose me. I told her she already had the moment she chose secrecy over our trust. She begged me to give her another chance, but I told her I needed space to breathe and to think. She packed a bag and left for her sister's house. The sound of the door closing behind her felt so final. I just sat there in the living room, staring at nothing, the weight of the betrayal pressing down on my chest. The next morning, she texted me asking if we could talk. I told her we would talk when I was ready. She apologized again and again, but apologies don't erase actions. I spent the day thinking about the version of us I thought we were, and I realized that version wasn't real anymore. By the evening, I finally texted her back. I told her I wanted a separation. She said she understood even though it hurt. I told her I hoped she could figure out what she truly wanted. She said she hoped I could forgive her someday. I told her healing takes time. She said she never meant to break us. I told her intentions don't erase the impact. We ended the conversation quietly. Silence settled in all the places where love used to live. The next morning I woke up feeling strangely lighter. Not healed, not yet, but free of pretending. Sometimes losing someone is incredibly painful. Sometimes losing them is necessary for your own survival. And sometimes it's both at the same time. This was one of those times. It was the end of a chapter, but it was also the beginning of a new one. Just for me. Thanks for listening.